Pakistani is not very to kupintos garzo med bin all the food monet in Zulus and all monet in the garden when you're in monet searches and two of the monetis.
People like us because we honor nature and are always in touch with our ancestors who help us and whose commandments we obey. People like us as they do the flowers in the garden out of joy for their beauty. This country and we are one. The Nilgiri Hills in southern India are our mother. People call us Toda. We call ourselves Or. We live widely spread out across the land with only one or two families in each hamlet. The temple is dedicated to the buffalo, which nourish us. The buffalo are our brothers and sisters. We love and honor them. Without them, we would not exist. They are sacred. Only heaven is above them. But we do not hunt them. We don't eat meat. We know every animal by name and know which clan it belongs to. Some of them are holy, while others are common.
We and the buffalo have the same origin. A Toda woman and a buffalo cow both were born from a pearl at the same time. That is where we come from.
Who created it? Godless Turkish. And why do you have secret buffaloes? She divided it. She herself divided and gave us.
Great Mother Turkish created us all, the 5 buffalo clans and our 14 Toda clans.
The sacred buffalo are milked by a priest. He dresses in black and fasts before the milking. Whoever wants to be a priest prepares himself with prayers and meditation for 3 days in retreat. Every man may become a priest. He knows every buffalo personally and they him. There are no outward signs to show if an animal is holy or common, and therefore able to be milked by any of our men. It does not depend on how fat the milk is. It is to do with the hierarchy among the animals themselves, which has ancient roots. The sacred animals are milked by the priest, which is a sign to the animals that their order is respected by us. Accordingly, we only drink the milk of the ordinary buffalo. The milk from the sacred animals must first be churned by the priest into butter, buttermilk, or set for yogurt. To do this, he takes the sacred milk into the temple. The temple is also his dairy, which only he and no one else may enter. In order to process the milk, he needs fire. The men are the guardians of the fire. They don't light it with matches, but ignite it as was done in primeval times, with 2 sticks and a piece of cloth. The male energy is the sun. Our female strength is the earth. With this ceremony, it is proven anew whether our men still carry the fire in them. If it works the first time, then it is a good omen for their harmony with the cosmic powers. What we know and do is not written down. We do not know any writing. Our knowledge and traditions were handed down from generation to generation, from the elders to the young, from man to man, from woman to woman, since time began. We take care of our children and the housework, the men of the buffalo and the dairy production. Along with the separation of our duties, submission, humility, and respect for our elders is essential. If the elders should ever refuse to pass their knowledge on because they have been denied respect, then we would lose our knowledge, the richness of our language, our tradition, everything, our whole identity. Our custom to honor men in such a way is not humiliating. Everyone knows that life began with us and that the first man was the fruit of a woman, our great mother Turkish. Nature designed it thus that we have the children. Men often feel inferior because of this. They attempt to compensate for this by finding something inferior in us. The only thing that they can find is the blood that we lose during our monthly cycle. Therefore, the men declare us to be unclean and forbid us to come into contact with the buffalo or to go near to the temple. We are as good as excluded from the milk production. We accept this since it saves us a lot of work. The boundary stone marks the temple area that we are not allowed to enter. Here we wait for the buttermilk, which is brought to us by a man out of the temple. Although we only have our period for a few days, the ban is for all the time. Perhaps one of us may misuse the band during her period, and then the temple would be contaminated and would have to be totally renovated.
I have been brought up with a strict division between men and women. That makes my life easier. They are my venerable parents with whom I lived since the separation from my first husband. He could not understand me. The men do not have a cycle. They only know blood as the result of an injury. That's why our bleeding is frightening for them. To us, it is the sign of our fertility, reproduction, and creation. My small daughter belongs to the clan of my first husband. Soon, I will marry for the second time since I'm pregnant again. Then my new child will belong to the clan of my second husband. He's a priest and I think it is good for him. He prays and meditates a lot. That makes him good-hearted. He wanted to go on this retreat before we married. In the meantime, my father churns the butter for me too. My mother is worried how long he can still manage to do this work. She would like to help him, but that is men's work. The men consider us to be unclean. But our great mother Turkish never spoke of uncleanliness. Neither did our forefathers. The blood is life. Only our men make something dirty out of it. Perhaps in order to make themselves feel more noble and superior.
Are you not ashamed to be regarded as unclean?
No, I feel good to be a woman. Our life is less difficult. We tend to the more pleasant, easier side of life.
Order letter.
Do you accept this discrimination?
These rules are traditional.
Do you always have to follow them? Can't you tell me?
I can't.
The tribal council are all men. Do you really think they will change these rules for you?
Sorry, I cannot speak to you about this. When we have finished our morning housework, then we meet together. Since we do not farm the land or rear animals, we have a lot of time to visit each other. The women of the other clans have walked a long way. We sing and dance together. We often go into the forest and collect everything which is edible. For our food, we need nothing more than the forest and milk products. We have a lot of time to talk to one another. These hours with friends are the best of the day for me.
Does the younger generation still have the same contact with the spiritual world as the older Toda?
When we pray, there is an answer. The connection to our dead ancestors is there. I only need to call and they help me immediately. For every holy place, we have two names. One is the outward description. With the other, I speak to the stone, tree, or mountain like a trusted friend, and I receive immediate help, protection, and energy. We walk a whole day to cross our land, all without roads. Our houses lie far apart. Every house is embedded in nature, which we do not change. We live from it.
The girls call their friends because great-grandfather Garros will talk today. That was also the nicest thing in my childhood, since we never knew about books or films, and even today still don't have them. The stories of the elders were our window on another world, with exciting adventures.
Grandmothers want to take us into the forest. What shall we do now?
We want for nothing. The buffalo and the forest provide us with everything we need to live. We do not worry about our existence. It does not take much to keep it up. We are rich, generously provided for by nature. We do not farm or keep animals. If the rains do not come, we may go up the mountain. With its help, we call the black clouds. It rains then usually already on the way home. I'm over 85. My life has been easy and without fear. But now, our forest is being cleared by others, and they are planting fast-growing eucalyptus groves for paper making. These trees draw so much water that the groundwater level sinks and the buffalo pastures dry out. Also, factories are built on our land, and their sewage drains into the streams from which our buffalo drink. Some just fall down dead afterwards. We do not know what this foam is. It smells terrible and the water is polluted. It is polluted. If this continues, we will lose our means of existence, the forest and the buffalo, and our people will die.
parts of the forest are still standing. It is our home where we feel happy and safe. Our grandmothers initiated us into all their mysteries. I learned about 250 different remedies and herbs and how to use them. The forest gives us the right medicine for all diseases and ills. The plants are living beings like you and I, with a soul and feelings. They recognize and remember you. If you have a relationship with them, you should be friends with all plants. The better you know and understand them, the more they help you with their incomparable powers. Like our grandmothers, we also show and explain the treasures of the forest to the next generation. At some time, the girls will have to recognize and use these treasures without us. That is our responsibility. Otherwise, our people will be without medicine tomorrow. We learn, collect herbs, and rejoice at the blossoms and fragrances of the forest. And we pay attention to the animals. There are tigers and snakes. The snakes are our special protectors, the keepers of wisdom. Look, up there's a beehive. Whoever speaks to and blows on the bees can go right into the middle of them without getting stung. One just has to do it without fear. Honey is the most beloved thing which the forest provides. It is the sweetness of life. We haven't found much this time. The richness and strength of the forest has been reducing for the last few years. The game with these buffalo horns are a projection of their future role. Our girls are content with gentler games. In this way, boys and girls live their respective roles right from the beginning of their life. not reproduce like other people. This branch contains the secret. From the yellow inner skin, we get a substance which protects us from unwanted pregnancy. Our men always want us to have more babies. We do not always want to be pregnant, however. We are enough people for the size of our land, about 1,000. In 1950, half of us died from syphilis brought to us by the English. We have recovered from that and have now resumed the original sustainable number for our land. The active substance is in the yellow bark. We beat this into fibers and press the juice out with water. Our young women can only receive this substance from me or a handful of other older women. No young woman takes it without our explicit consent. We decide. We ask the high spirits. Men are not initiated. Our medicine is so good because to every substance and every herb there belongs a mantra with which we call upon the spiritual helpers, without whom we would have no success. When I cure buffalo, I call upon 3 snakes. With their spirit, the thorn bush takes away from the buffalo everything bad which made him ill. With our life, we protect the beauty of the Nilgiris. In order to visit our friends, we gladly walk for a whole day or longer. Our best friends are the Badagars. When this tribe came up from the Indian lowlands many generations ago, we gave them large parts of our land to cultivate. We do not do that. The grass is holy. The animals live from it. Digging damages the skin of the earth, and the sun burns the open wound upon which things only grow with artificial fertilizer. Apart from this, farming is a very strenuous physical occupation which is unworthy of men. If other people want to farm the land, that's up to them. For us, it is too strenuous and completely unnecessary. The Badagars are good neighbors and very friendly to us. We speak their language, which is also written, and they have schools. Their population is increasing, and today they are not only farmers anymore, they follow different professions. I bring them our butter. They like it more than their own. Their gift to us is potatoes, peas and lentils, all things which we like. Our men bring a calf. That is a very special present. It should bring the Badagars lots of good milk one day. We can be sure they will not slaughter the cow since they are vegetarians like us. That's what we like about the Badagars most. They are Hindus. They have never tried to convert us. Another neighboring tribe whom we often visit are the Kotas. To get to them, we have to cross huge tea plantations which have been erected on our land. Sometimes we feel like strangers in our own home. All others have to work the whole day long. It is only we who have time for extended journeys to visit friends and enjoy the countryside with its lovely and powerful sights. The Kotas came up to us into the Nilgiris before the Badakars. They were the first foreigners. They are also Hindus. Their language is different from that of the Badakars. It is easier for us to understand. We do not go into their villages. They are meat eaters. That hurts us. We do not want to see and smell how our equals are slaughtered. We cannot do anything about it apart from staying away. More and more people are eating meat, which makes them hard and aggressive. In spite of this, life in our hills is still very peaceful. In the whole of our history, we have never fought anyone and no one has ever attacked us. No one has ever starved here. Each tribe follows its own traditions and doesn't mix with the others. The Kotas are very practical people. Today they give us axes and clay pots. They know how to handle clay and metal well. They make jewelry also for us. We are bringing them 3 pots of their beloved honey. They are well-loved musicians in the Nilgiris. We ourselves do not play any instruments. We invite them from time to time to play at funerals or other functions. It is our tradition to betroth the children early. Today, this day has come for Nashtar. His parents Mutwa and Nagamal are bringing him into the house of my son-in-law, who is giving the bride. I, as the oldest, am greeted first by Nagamal. Their family does not belong to our clan. That is a precondition for a marriage. My husband Muchikan bargains for a good price for his granddaughter Matirashima. My son Sumatrash bids with him. For Mutwa, the price is too high. A bride for his son cannot cost so much. We agree that Nashtar and Matirashima should enter marriage. She will be happy with these parents-in-law. Her mother, Pushpavad, my daughter, is very happy about this. I want to know when our little bride will move in with Nashtar. In my time, we were immediately taken away with the bridegroom's family as soon as the price had been fixed. Matira Shima will soon be a good household helper for Nagamal. But my daughter wants to keep her for a few years so that she can go to an Indian school and learn something before she has to go and live in the forest and become Nashtar's wife. We agree. Matira Shima will stay for a few more years with her parents. Mutwa will give 6 buffalo instead of 10 and some money. This is new but good. These days we need money also. The engagement is agreed upon. Nashtar receives our blessing. He should be a good son-in-law for us. With the handing over of the bridal shawl, the marriage is sealed.
First, I married my uncle's daughter, but her habit is not good, so I divorced her. And then I took polygamy system with my elder brother for 2 years. And in between my brother and myself, some clash. So I left her. And again I take the same job, polygamy job, with younger brother's wife.
That is a long time ago. Gone. I was young then. Gone. Earlier, women had several men. Gone. Our ancient mother also had several men. Gone. The men shared the work. That was good. Today, every man wants a woman for himself. That is not good.
Who were you together with?
Do I have to give all the names? You know I had 4 marriages.
With whom?
First with the brothers Chitti and Porsibga.
Before that?
My childhood marriage.
Who came then?
Then came you.
Before me was Moody. I paid him off.
I don't know anymore.
I have 6 buffalo for you.
With him it didn't last long.
8 years. His brother also lived with you. Didn't he?
He didn't want to take on fatherhood.
He was much younger, wasn't he?
And Panchayat, they put me company 13 buffaloes. I paid.
And how many you had?
What?
At that time, how many were you owned buffaloes?
That time I got 20, 25.
So the half you had to give?
Yeah. That's the Panchayat is settled argument. Because before the Portuguese gave 7 buffaloes to his brother. Then 5 or 6 buffaloes extra I paid.
In the panchayat, our tribal council, the men argue. Everyone can speak. There is no hierarchy or chief. What counts are the best arguments and age. We women are not admitted. Brother or uncle has to represent us. All important decisions are made here. In the case of divorce, the council ensures that the divorced man gets back his bride price in buffalo from the new husband. The new husband must give at least 1 buffalo more than the old husband had paid. Otherwise, it is not an improvement. Our value must increase from husband to husband. The more men who desire me, the more buffalo my clan can claim for me. Questions of guilt, love or fidelity are not discussed. Feelings of this kind have little meaning. A wedding only takes place when the bride is already pregnant, at least in the 7th month, so that everyone can see it. When the tribal council has decided how many buffalo the man has to pay for the bride, then the ceremony can take place. For that, our whole tribe comes together. On such a day of celebration, each one of our 14 clans is represented. The largest has 250 members, the smallest only 8.
For my wedding, a special host was selected. A tree of impressive beauty, big and strong, under which it is a joy to sit the whole day long, to dance and to sing, and which will protect me and my family. I wait with the women. Some men have spread out and are looking for my bridegroom. It is a part of the wedding that he prepares himself alone in the forest for 3 days and 3 nights at the time of new moon. Yashko is a good man. He has shown this also as priest. My father doesn't dance anymore. He will soon be 90, they say. The only religious symbol we have is the flame. The tree is, so to say, our church. They have found my husband. Alongside his spiritual preparations for this moment, he made the symbol of marriage out of branches, a bow and arrow made from a taut stake. It represents our desire to have children and for the house which we will share. He announces 3 times to the clans that he will give me this symbol, and he asks me 3 times if I'll accept it. 3 times I say yes in the name of my child. With this ceremony, my child belongs to his clan, even if it is not from him. He takes on the fatherhood of this and all my other children. All of my children become thereby members of his clan. I ask the tree for its protection and strength. May Yashko's paternity and clan bring good luck and health to my child. If a child is born without this ceremony, then it isn't a Toda, but a bastard because it has no clan. Fathers come and go. The membership of the clan always remains, however. The clan is my home.
Were you betrothed to your husband as a child?
As a girl, I belonged to another boy. I didn't like him when he became a man. I refused to marry him. It is difficult to find a good man.
But the priest Yashko is good.
Yes, he is very sensible, not rough like the others. There are some men who treat their wives very badly.
Why didn't you marry two brothers? That was customary in my time.
No, they fight and then the peace in the house is gone. The men are different now to what they were in your time. 2 men destroy more than 4 hands could achieve.
Whatever changes take place, they don't give you peace. Peace you can only find in the holy places of nature. They give you everything.
They are my best friends.
They love you, bless you.
I wish that the Nilgiri stay as wonderful as they always were, and long live the buffalo.
The nice thing about our life is that actually everything functions by itself. The buffalo come by themselves out of the forest in the mornings into our hamlets and let themselves be milked by our men. Nobody needs to worry about their food or shelter. Only the calves of the herd leaders are kept in pens so that they are safe from tigers and wolves, and also to ensure that the herds come back to their places twice a day. And the animals come gladly. They know that we love and respect them as ourselves. Imbasin and Kot's day always begins the same. Imbasin does the housework and Kot milks the buffalo. His herd has about 30 mother animals and some calves. They give enough milk for one family, also in the dry season. The surplus he sells or gives away. Gunda is Imbasin and Kot's neighbor. The neighborhood women get along well together. Kot first lived with Gunda. Then he wanted to change to the neighbor. That wasn't so simple though. First, Kot had to find another partner for Gunda. Neither could he move in with Imbasin until a new wife had been found for her husband, Kittu. Kot succeeded in joining Gunda with his friend Torigan. For this, however, Torigan had to break off his engagement to Sivamal, the girl of his childhood. It took 1 year until a solution was worked out for everybody and the whole partner swap could take place.
You are already together for 1 year. Why hasn't anything happened?
It's not my fault.
My predecessor also didn't get pregnant.
Did you want him? I don't know. Was not he any good?
With us, it's good, isn't it?
Rarely.
When were you born according to the Hindu calendar?
In the sign of the tiger.
Which element?
Water.
And her?
Beaver with the element fire.
Doesn't that match?
Actually, very good.
You should practice a lot. You are very fertile. My wife is already in the 6th month. We can soon marry and admit the child into my clan. Hurry up, I want to leave.
I don't want to know what you are up to.
Water. Don't worry about me.
I don't like the city.
Your ex-husband does.
That's also why I left him.
I thought it was because of me.
I wanted to live with Imbasin, but not in the forest and only from buffalo milk. I now work for the government. I prefer that to being out there.
Don't you like living out here?
Yes, of course.
Come back soon.
It's only a quick trip, nothing more.
Recently, there have been pictures of other religions on our altar. Our altar is only a flame. That creates the connection to the power of the spirit. God still respects our custom not to wear shoes, at least in the house and yard area. Buffalo also doesn't want to be recognized as a Toda by his clothes. His wife also has mixed feelings when the men go off in this get-up. Usually, they don't come back until the next day. They have to walk 2 hours until they reach the road beyond the horizon. They are glad that there is a road there. It is the first through our land. Some of our women also like to go into the city. Vasamalli lives in the city. She is the only member of our tribe who has a college degree and knowledge of English. She represents our tribe in public.
All along we are following our culture, maybe thousands years. This modern world is challenging us. This is little bit challenge for us. These youngsters may go to film shows and they will learn good and bad. We are very afraid how many years this culture may go to survive. So you have to be very careful.
We cannot withdraw ourselves from civilization. We have to find an answer. We cannot continue to protect our inheritance in the same way as we have done for generations. Jamasi has found her answer. After me, she is the second one of our tribe to strive for a college degree and refuse the early marriage which was arranged by her clan when she was 2 years old. She lives like me in this village, which was built for us by the Indian government on the outskirts of Ooty as compensation for the large amount of land which we had to give up. She can get to college easily from here, on foot and by bus.
You are the best in your class.
First rank.
First rank. Good. You want to become a lawyer. What do you want to do as a lawyer? Couldn't you serve your people better as a doctor or engineer?
My people don't build anything, and they have their own good medicine. But they do not have a lobby. As a lawyer, I can defend us up to the Supreme Court. And I can act against superstitious rules such as the exclusion because of the menstrual cycle and the child betrothal.
What will be left of us if we give up our customs and traditions? Life near the city makes us into different people. My husband still keeps a few buffalo, but we cannot live from that We live from my income. I work in an office alongside the housework. I am still a Toda woman and live out our tradition, while at the same time, I want to lead a modern life. That is often very difficult. My children need an education for their future. At the same time, they should not lose the respect for the holy grass from which the buffalo, our brothers and sisters, live. If the grass survives, then I am not worried about us and the earth. But this is not to be taken for granted. If we neglect the grass, the protecting spirits will withdraw from us, and without them, our life will be hard and joyless. In spite of this, we cannot all stay outside in the wilderness. I would like many of the Toda to be educated and to have qualified jobs, not lowly manual work. For this, we need schools. These, however, do not exist in our language. Whoever learns in another language quickly forgets his own roots. That's our dilemma. I am fighting politically for our tribe, that it will retain its own identity and survive. For that, we must assert ourselves in society. My husband and other Todas sell their milk to the dairy, since we also need money now. Our milk has the highest quality and fetches the best price. None of us can exist these days completely without money. Not even the clans who live right out in the forest with lots of buffalo. I must take every opportunity to speak to the elders. Only by doing this will I remain a Toda. Pilgichko, how do you like it in the city?
It is better back home. There we don't have such worries, like the girls cannot go out in the evening and the men drink and become violent.
The city also has its nice side, doesn't it?
Such as what? Your only pleasure is the cinema and the new things. We rejoice in nature, in the forest with all its beauty, with its wonderful places where we play and sing. That's where one can be really happy.
We are also happy. We have a lot more opportunities and much more freedom than you.
Freedom? Fear.
I think you see it too, Black.
You wear nice clothes, but fear is in your face. You want to fit in. You no longer go your own way. Many tread on the grass with shoes and don't wear our shawls anymore. Our good spirits leave us because of this disrespect. Earlier, our prayers had much power, but today, many spirits don't listen to us anymore because they are not heeded. We would perish in this modern world which you find so attractive. Maybe we won't even exist anymore in 10 years.
The real danger is not the modern life, but the loss of our land and forests. If even more land is taken from us and the buffalo, then we will die. My dear grandmother has died. How many wisdoms between heaven and earth did she know, which she did not pass on? What else could I still have learned from her? There are only 6 or 7 women left who can still heal spiritually with mantras. She belonged to them. I always wanted to ask her to initiate me into her higher knowledge. Now it is too late. She died in my arms.
Stop breathing. Then we stretched our leg perfectly. And we may put this coin. This is very important for us. This is called Nitish Gauss. In Toda language, it's called Nitish Gauss. And the tag we tied.
The coin on her third eye is from her temple and helps her spirit collect itself. That is very important when one is dead.
We don't have, so we are putting this. We may get tomorrow. Kebid. It's called kebid.
So then quietly.
Quietly she died. She didn't give any trouble.
Even for Kot, a piece of our culture has died with grandmother. My forefathers always had a spiritual connection to their ancestors. My husband and myself only managed that in times of desperation. I think that is because of my education, which influenced me a lot. My aunt still has great spiritual capabilities. One can learn a lot from her.
Because we were very scattered and simply enters anybody's house and gathering a crowd by singing. Because their singing is very simple singing. It's attracting more people. He's taking more time and more time. He's getting the crowd. So people think, oh, he's very good singer. I told him, if I have a book like you, and if I write in Toda, and I also will go to every month and preach about my community, nobody will come and listen to your singing and all. So I told him it's more than enough, thank you. I respect Christianity also and Muslim, all religious, but follow your own method. I also follow my own way of my religious. That's what I told him.
Who's telling you to come here?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We are all respecting his God, all religious, but same time we don't want to, all of them just jump into another religion and forget about our community.
How do you get money for your family and all?
That's Jesus.
No, he has no cash.
I'm cultivation. My daddy and mommy, they're doing cultivation.
Yeah.
But the way only is different. All God are same. That's my feeling. But this is the way God has given us to worship. So we have to follow our own way, not anybody's advice.
But why do they have to believe in Jesus?
We to go to heaven.
Now is running away. The Christians in India are a small elite. There are 50 Toda who have gone over to them, and since then have nothing more to do with us. They don't even come when a relative dies, because we bury them wholly according to our custom and tradition. Since the Kotas didn't come to this funeral either, an Indian wedding band is playing wedding songs. grandmother, the panchayat, our tribal council, has to decide how many buffalo we will send with her. Without buffalo, we are not Toda, says our tradition. Neither an Emu nor the other world. Earlier, when our herds were still very big, there were funerals where up to 100 buffalo accompanied the dead. Today, we cannot afford this. And besides, I think it is barbaric and superstitious. But our men won't give up this old tradition. Geros mediates. Since grandmother didn't expressly ask that no buffalo be sacrificed, then there should be at least one sent with her to Eminor. Most of the men agree with this, and the funeral ceremony can begin. Perhaps our men experience too little fighting and therefore take part so passionately in the conquest to defeat the buffalo. The things which we give her are spiritual gifts because they come from the heart and contain many good wishes. Each person gives something which they treasure: honey, jewelry, also small lovely packages with nothing in. Since I like grandmother very much, I give her my prettiest earrings. Geros would really like to go with her. He was a good friend of hers. Our presents make the dead happy. She can take their spiritual contents with her to Eminor. They help to maintain a lasting contact with her beyond death. I think it is superstition of the men that the soul of the buffalo can only follow the dead to Eminor in this way. We never kill animals which are our equals. Why then, of all times, when we are mourning a dead person, we women think that it is terrible and we keep away.
Does Keros also want to have a buffalo sacrificed upon his death?
He doesn't commit himself yet. In order to establish the contact to the sacrificed buffalo, the men fetch grandmother from the deathbed and let her be greeted in the Toda way, respectively by the buffalo. For grandmother, the fire is lit with a match. For a man, it would have been the ancient method with sticks. The ghost trap cleans the flames, which consume the corpse and free the soul. The chest containing all her savings and valuables accompanies her likewise to Amno. We do not want to inherit them. The photo is the last sight. From now on, there can only be a spiritual contact to her. We break the vessel of tears to put an end to our mourning and to separate ourselves from the bodily appearance of her. On the next day, the female relatives of the dead meet to have their hair cut. The length of the sacrificed hair depends on the closeness of the relationship to her. We give the hair to a bush where it can release its fertility. Hair and nails, all horn is sacred to us. It is the essence of renewal. We never disregard it. As long as the men make all the decisions in the panchayat, nothing will change for us. We must be allowed to speak in the panchayat.
That wouldn't help us either. We should have our own panchayat, where only women are admitted.
The men would never allow that.
They would not be asked. We can decide without them.
They'll be shocked.
What would you want to change?
The children should not be engaged, and we should be allowed to go into the temple.
Oh, that would offend our ancestors.
Periods are nothing terrible. We are not unclean just because of this.
I'm telling you, don't tamper with that. The great spirits will punish us otherwise. Dharmavati, don't go into the temple grounds. Let it be. In order to be heard by the ancestors and the great spirits, you do not need the temple. That is a male preserve. We can pray everywhere. To cross over the boundary stone will bring disaster.
So men think, they blame religious rule. This is blame on the religious rule. But actually, men made this rule not to go this area and all. First they say, oh, this is a religious. You should not cross this sacred area because you are having release or men for menstruation that will pollute that area. They themselves said and give more importance for them.
Dharmavati holds many of the rules of our tribe to be male inventions. She is secretly looking for another way of life. No Toda man may see Dharmavati here. The panchayat would disown her.
Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but for yourselves and your children. Europe lay in ruins. The cities of Europe had been ravaged by war. And then watch God open the hearts of others to himself. We are never more godlike.
I'm Dharmavati. I'm 18 years old. My future husband was already chosen for me in my childhood by my clan. I reject this husband, however. I want to choose my own husband. He should be educated and intelligent, be well behaved, and respect me as an equal.
Should this husband be a Christian?
I don't know the customs of the Christians. Maybe I would not be able to fulfill them. The husband should on no account drink and should not be violent. He should know how a woman feels and thinks. He should be gentle, warm-hearted, and very friendly.
A Toda?
The Toda men live in their own world. They understand more about the buffalo than about women. No, there are some who are all right, but they are often very simple.
Damavati, could it be that you will leave the Toda and marry out of your tribe?
No, I will not talk about that.
Our customs and rules must have been violated so much that our spirits were unable to protect the place of their worship. The oracle says the fire came from inside, not from outside.
The cobra did not prevent the destruction. The fire consumed the holy flame. We and the buffalo were one.
Do our men have the strength to rebuild their temple? We call upon our ancient mother Turkish. We call upon our ancestors. We call upon the great spirits with the song of our origins.
Yeah.